Hello, hello, hello. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your hostess for this evening, where we're going to talk about how you get grant money for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit. Now, as you come in, that's right, say hello to me. Say hello to me. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let me know where you are coming in from. I'm in the land, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio, where it is a chilly, chilly, chilly 38 degrees. Yes, it's cold here. Hello, Bermisha. Let me know where you're coming in from. And Tia and Fabi and Tia. So Tia, you're coming in from Pasadena, California. Hey, Nessie from Georgia. And Fabi's coming in from Miami. I was just in Miami this summer. And the iPhone person is coming in from Detroit. Hello, Terrence from, is it Mississippi by way of Cleveland or Cleveland by way of Mississippi? Bermisha from Chicago, Chi-Town is up in the house. Lisa from, let's see, Lisa is coming in from Kentucky. Our neighbors, our neighboring state, right to the south. And Eddie from Macon, Georgia. Hello, hello. Betty's back with us. Hello, Betty from Texas. And Johnny's coming in from Daytona Beach. And Diane is no, 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 no. They don't like to give me the full names. Daniel. Daniel from Michigan. Our neighbors right to the northwest. And hey, Ohio has shown up. Hey, Brenda from Twinsburg. Ohio is up in the house. And Sherelle. And it is Carrie from Columbus. Look at Columbus showing up. Look at Ohio coming in strong. And Marina from South Carolina. And this is Tara from Phoenix, Arizona. And is it Shafine? Shafine from Nashville? And Yvette from South Carolina? Cleveland is in the town of Mississippi. There's a Cleveland, Mississippi. There are a lot of Clevelands like around the country. I know there's like a Cleveland, Tennessee, but there's only one land. There's only one land, and that is in Northeast Ohio. All right. And Sherelle is coming in from Arkansas, and Carla from St. Petersburg, Florida. Florida is showing up strong too. And Sherelle, you're in Memphis. Home of the good barbecue, right? And Lisa's coming in from the Derby City, home of Muhammad Ali. Thank you. Thank you. A little bit of history there. And hello, Kendall. And Betty, thank you. Thank you, Betty. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm taking all the love. I'm taking all the love. And Sherry from Mississippi and Elizabeth from Memphis. And we've got, is it Thaddeus? I think it's Thaddeus. Is that right? From Baltimore, Maryland? Ah, and this is, let me see, Johnny, I've already completed. The one I paid, I missed the classes and need to attend the next one. I just need to link. Well, this is our webinar, but you may be thinking about the online. So I give live coaching, right? So we'll take care of you a little bit later, right? I have your information, so we'll send you what you need. But thank you for hopping on. And Antoinette, and this is Leon and Ralph from Michigan. All right. So my name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host for this evening, where we're going to talk about how you get grant money for your Black-owned business and your Black-led nonprofit. And let me say to all of you right now, you are going to need this information. Yes, come January. You're going to need this information, right? This is going to be really important for you to have as much information as possible so that you can place your organization in the best possible position. to move forward as we move into the new year, because we don't know what is going to happen, right? So you need all of the resources, right, to be able to thrive and to move forward. I'm going to give you a lot tonight. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen. And because we're live, as I always say, when I hit this share screen button, because you never know about technology, it's like, come through. You're going to see just like a little 30-second TV commercial, which will give you some information about me and my background and the work that I do. And then we're off to the races. All right. All right. It is looking good thus far. All right. All right. All right. All right. We are ready to go.
Hi, I'm Linda Peavy, owner of LaPav Consulting. My passion is to place your organization on the path to excellence. Are you struggling to communicate your message, reach target audiences, or secure funding? From marketing communications to grant writing, we achieve your goals. We've worked with high-profile clients and have secured $17 million in funding for charter schools and nonprofits. Call today to discuss what your success looks like and how LaPav Consulting can help.
Right, so that's just a little bit of information about me. Let me make sure everybody's in the right place. So this is grant writing for Black-owned businesses and Black-led nonprofits. And this is my live 7 o'clock session. I was on noon, and some of you were here with me, and did we not have a good time? And I know we're going to have a good time tonight as well. All right, we're ready to go. Now, my background, yes, they call me the Grants Queen because I have secured over $17 million in funds and business development. Now, this is year 16 of me owning my company. And every one of those 16 years, I have been a professional grant writer. I give keynote speeches around the country. My undergrad and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. I always have to put that in. And I do provide grant writing workshops as well for many different organizations, including Jumpstart and the Urban League and various library systems and Goldman Sachs, where I am a proud alumnus of their Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. I am also a member of Forbes Black, which is an organization of leaders affiliated, Black leaders affiliated with the magazine. And now I have a business, yes, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So let me know who is here with me today, right now in the chat. Let me know. Are you a nonprofit or are you a for-profit, meaning you are a small business, or maybe you're both? Because I'm finding that nonprofits are opening for-profits and for-profits are opening nonprofits. So let me know. Let me know in the chat who is here on nonprofit, both, for-profits. Lots of boths. Excellent, because it really places you in a great position to get grant funding, right? Because some grants are for nonprofits or for-profits. Others are just for for-profits. Some are just for nonprofits. I ask you this question at the beginning because I want to make it crystal clear, because sometimes I get this question at the end of this webinar, right? After I've explained everything. So I want to be crystal clear. There are grants available for you as a nonprofit or a for-profit. As a for-profit, it means you're a small business, right? There's grants for both. So you are absolutely in the right place. All right? You're in the right place. Now, how did I get here? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania, right? Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, to be specific. And I was there for about 10 years. And then I got hurt. When I got hurt, I had to move back home to Cleveland, literally came home in a wheelchair. I always say, took a flight with Patti LaBelle. That's a story for a different time, though, but such memories. But when I came back to Cleveland, it took me 2 years to recuperate. And at the end of those 2 years, I couldn't find a job. I couldn't find a job because my experience was in professional publishing. And if you know anything about Cleveland, you know this is like not the publishing mecca of the United States, right? So that's when I started LaPav Consulting out of necessity. And one of my first contracted positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. And I don't think I was there maybe 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant that would save my job. Now, as I always say, like, we're family here, right? We're all family here tonight. There are times when people who look like us, right, are called in to save the day, to save the program, sometimes to save the entire organization. So if you know what I mean, give me a yes in the chat. But I did it. And I didn't know anything about grants. I had never seen a grant before, but I did it. I researched, I wrote that grant, I won that grant. It paid for my salary. It saved my job. It saved the organization. So yes, it is absolutely possible to win grants with no experience, with no grant writing experience whatsoever. Like, you can do this, right? I'm seeing lots of yeses, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know how it is, right? But I was able to do it. And I learned at that time this amazing connection that happens when you get grant money, right? And what you can pay for with grant money, right? How about startup grants, right? Some of you have not even started. How about you pay for staff so that you stop wearing all of the hats, right? Or just being able to thrive, right? We'll talk more about that connection between what you can do with grant funding as we move through. All right, what else will we talk about? Why this class is important, some keys to funding. I will give you some grant basics. We're going to talk about how do you prepare to apply for grants. You need to be grant ready. You can't just download an application, complete it, and send it off. That's a quick way to get a rejection letter. You have to prepare, right? And then what do you write in the application, and how do you write it so that you're getting noticed by the foundations that want to fund you, especially as Black organizations? And then we're going to conduct some grant research. I will show you how, so that you know how to connect with organizations that are attracted to you and your mission and your organization. And then don't go anywhere. Truly don't go anywhere, because I have a bonus surprise. I have a list of available grants, and I have 2 extra surprises because it's the holidays and I'm in the giving mood. All right. We are ready to go. Now, why are we here? Because Black organizations like ours, we as Black leaders, we need access to money. And it shouldn't always be about loans. We want grant money because grant money is free to us. But you must know that you can do this. You can write grants. You can write grants. You don't have to be afraid. Grant writing is not sitting in some corner, writing some 500-page document for 3 months at a time. That is exactly what I used to do. Exactly. But I know now that some grants are 2 and 3 pages, 500 words, because foundations simply don't have the staff to read these 200 and 300-page documents anymore. So the process is streamlined, right? But what you must know is that this is about more than you just answering a question and sending off a grant application. You can write a million grants. I'm here to show you how to win grants, all right? You need to know that there is a process to this. And after having won $17 million, which is probably closer to 18 million now, I know there's a process to winning, right? And that is part of what we are going to talk about today. Now, where's the money coming from, right? Now, you know, there have always been grant money for nonprofits, but small businesses, that's relatively new. That happened because of COVID-19, when so many small businesses were going under. And so your major corporations stepped in and said, we need to help save small businesses. So they started to create these pools of grant funding earmarked for small businesses. And that money is still here, right? Now, how does this affect you and me? That was the George Floyd incident. When George Floyd was murdered, foundation leaders, right, from your smaller foundations and your major corporations said we have to do something to address racial injustice in this country. Now, I bet that seems like a long time ago. And from what you're hearing in the news, you would think this is over, right? No more funding, no more funding for DEI. People, let me tell you, do not believe everything you see on the news. There are major corporations, very recognizable names, and many, many, many organizations that are absolutely committed to getting money and grant funding to Black organizations. I literally just came back last week from a global conference where there were dozens and dozens and dozens of organizations absolutely committed to getting money to Black organizations, right? They choose to lay low, right? So do not believe everything that you are seeing in the media. This money is available. It will continue to be available. You have to ask yourself, what are you going to do to place your organization in the best possible position to get it? And I am here to help you answer that question, right? Because this is about grants and getting free money. So you're in the right place. All right. Now, I'll go through some grant basics. What do you all need to know about grants? Grants are not paid back, regardless of what you're seeing on social media. So much misinformation there about grants. Grants are not paid back. All right. Now, for the next minute, I'm only talking to nonprofits. Just for the next minute. Get your 501c3. That is your tax-exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. And guess what? Even if you are a church, even if you are a school, regardless of what type of nonprofit you are, you still need this 501c3. So yes, you're going to have to go through the process. The good news is that it's only taking about 8 weeks. It used to take 6 months to get through this process. You're going to need your 501c3. All right. Now, for the duration of this presentation, I'm talking to everybody, your small businesses as well as your nonprofits, everybody, right? Especially with this next slide. Everybody look at this slide, right? This is U.S. grant annual funding. This was from foundation and corporation giving in 2022, increased $180 billion. In 2023, actually have those numbers now, increased $189 billion. And the 2024 numbers will come out sometime late next year. But I want you to look at this number here. People, don't let anybody tell you there's no grant money. There's plenty of grant money, right? It's about how are you going to position yourself to get it. $180 billion, focus on this number, but do not be intimidated. Don't think, oh, this is just too much. There's no way I can get any of that. That number is too large. No, because at the end of the day, all you need is what you need, and you know what you need. And you just need a little bit of $180 billion, right? A little bit, right? Not all of it. So focus on what you need, and it will be more attainable. Don't be intimidated by that large number. So I want everybody right now to place in this chat. I just need a little bit. Everybody into the chat. I want you to focus on, I just need a little bit. Focus on what you need. You just need a little bit of $180 billion, right? So everybody in the chat, I just need a little bit. I just need a little bit. That's right, Tia. That's right. Is it Shafine? Do you need it all, Sherry? Betty, do you need all $180 billion, or will you accept a slice? Will you accept a slice of this? Right? This is a lot of money. This is a lot of money, people. Right? Right? Lisa claims. Lisa says just a little bit, Jesus. Right? You just need what you need. This is a big pie. Don't let people tell you there's no grant money. Right? Well, there's plenty. You focus on your portion and how you're going to get, right, what is yours. All right, and I'm going to show you how tonight. But first, because they call me the grants queen, and it's cold here near Cleveland, I'm going to be giving you these nice cups of tea this evening, and this is the first cup. It is called Grammarly. Now, if you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in the chat. What is it? It is a free, did I say it was free? It is a free software editing tool. You download it onto your computer. When you're writing your Word documents, your Excel documents, even your emails, it will self-correct, and it has AI now. So it's remarkable. Did I say it was free? It's free. Download it. Why? Because I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. No. And listen, it doesn't even matter how many letters you have behind your name. I have several. And I'm a professional grant writer, a professional editor, and a professional writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly, right? So download it. It's free. It's free. And courtesy of our friends at Grammarly, we have this article, Improve Writing Skills Dramatically by Doing These 15 Things. Who's using Grammarly? Constance, use it for school. And is she the only one using Grammarly? Right? A slice, a dice, a slither, says Nisha. You just need a little bit, right? Everybody download Grammarly. Johnny says it works very well. Let's see. ChatGPT is great too. But while you are working on your document, that's why that's why I love Grammarly, because as you are working on your document, it will self-correct in Word, right? It's super convenient. Yvonne says, yes, it's a great tool. Download it. Download it. All right. Now, what are we doing? We are preparing to apply for grants. You need to be grant ready. Get your documents in order, your EIN, your employer identification number. Nonprofits, you need the 501c3. Especially you for-profits, you may need a state certification or a business license to even conduct business in your state. Every state is different. In Ohio, you have to have a business license. In Wyoming, you don't. It depends. So check that your Secretary of State, find out whether or not you need a business license. All right. Also, you need a list of your board of directors. Now, you know, nonprofits, it is a requirement that you have a board. A requirement. And no, they cannot consist of just your family and friends, right? No, 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 no. But I digress. You need a list of your board members. Now, for profits, it's not mandated that you have a board, but if you have a board, include that list, right? Any staff members, get letters of support. Let the foundations know that there are organizations that support you. Where are they coming from? It could be your pastor, the church, community leaders, politicians, the mayor, your vendors, right? Ask them to provide letters of support for you, organizations that know of your work. All right. Now, if you're currently operating, you need your financial statement, right? That's your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement, P&L, profit and loss. Another name for profit and loss is income statement. So you need a balance sheet and your income statement. Now, this is important. All of you need an operating budget, every single one of you, even if you are a startup, even if you have not yet even opened your organization, you need to create a budget of your expected expenses, because you have to know approximately how much money it's going to take for you to operate over the course of a year. Because when you create that budget, you will also recognize where you need grant money, because you may have some funding gaps. You may have money to pay for some of your operations, but you may need grant money to pay for others. And you'll be surprised, because you may be thinking, oh, it's going to take $1 million for you to open up my organization. And then once you start looking at that budget, you may realize, oh, I only need $50,000, right? So operating budget. Now, I'm going to go through the typical components of a grant application and give you best practices. All right. These are the components of a grant application so that you'll know how to write them. The first section that you're going to see is called the summary abstract. It will summarize the grant application. Don't be fooled. You'll see it first. You always write it very last, because you're going to complete your grant application and go through it and start pulling out the most compelling components of that grant application and dump that information into the summary abstract, because this is the first impression that a foundation will have of your organization. So it's got to be tight. All right. All right. Next, mission. All of you must have a mission statement. Yes, even if you are a for-profit, because your mission is going to lead you to the foundation that wants to give you money, because you're going to align your mission to their mission. So you're seeking organizations that align to your mission. This is why you don't change your mission based on what foundation you seek money from. You should be seeking foundations that align to your mission. So if you have a passion for education, maybe you have a K through 12 program, seek foundations that also give in that area, right? Now, if you don't have a mission statement, that's homework one-on-one, right? The mission is everything, because everything you do should be in service of your mission. So if you don't have one, write one. All right. History section, just don't ever leave it blank. If you are a startup, now you're going to be including information about how did you get started? What were those activities that led to you opening up your organization? Because whatever those activities were, they become a part of the history of the organization. All right. Now, leadership. Now, that's easy. That's your CEO, your executive director, but always include your board of directors, because they are very much a part of your leadership team. All right. Now, this next section is how you're going to separate yourself from the pack, how you describe your organization, because I want all of you to think about one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? Do you have a homeless ministry? How many homeless people have you placed in shelters? Are you a truck driver? How many loads have you driven over the course of a year? How many pounds of goods and services, right? Maybe you coach. Maybe you have an online coaching service, right? How many people have you coached over the course of a year, and what were their results? And even if you have not yet opened, right, I still want you to use impact and real numbers, right? So let's say you want to open up an organization where you are helping veterans who maybe have PTSD to get transitional housing. How many veterans have you helped? How has your services helped their PTSD, right? Impact, real numbers. Got it? All right. Now, this is where you will have to rethink how you see your organization, because regardless of your industry or the fact that you are nonprofit or for-profit, you must write this application as if you are addressing a need or resolving an issue. This is your statement of need. Now, let's say you have a bakery. I love using a bakery as an example. And let's say they want to locate in a downtown community, right? They need a $20,000 grant. Now you might be thinking, like, what problem is a bakery solving, right? They're probably making like red velvet cake all day, right? Or maybe they decided to open up a vegan bakery, right? Because a lot of vegans don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods, right? Or maybe it's economic development. They're trying to open up a storefront in an area that's been deprived, but they want to contribute to the economy of that area. So no matter what you do or how you do it, you have to ask yourself, what am I doing in service of others? Who am I helping? How am I helping them? What is the issue? What is the problem? Right? And it's okay. You could be an LLC. You could be serving other businesses, right? How are you serving them? What problem is it that they have as to why they would come to you? Now, whatever that area of interest is going to lead to the foundation that wants to give you money, because guess what? They're giving money to organizations addressing issues that are similar to what you're addressing. That's why you have to know what you're addressing. And you have to know where and how and who, right, foundations give to, because every foundation has a particular area of interest as to where they give, right? They all do. They all do. Now, how do you find out? How do you find out where and how they give? right? Well, you go to their websites. You go to their websites. But guess what? Guess what? 90% of foundations don't even have a website. So that's where you have to be really, really smart and do your research to get information about them. All right. Now, next, this is where some of you run into problems. Some of you run into trouble because I've been consulting with organizations for 16 years now. I serve as a business coach for the Women's Business Council, which is part of the EIDC, which is funded by the Small Business Administration. And when I ask, who are you helping? Who are you serving? Too often I help everybody. Like I help everybody. I have to help everybody. I have a heart for helping, but you can't help everybody. No matter what you do, you cannot help everybody. So you have to have one, maybe two target populations. And sometimes you have to drill down within that one. You say you help the homeless who? Homeless veterans, homeless children, homeless single moms, right? One, maybe two. All right. If you want to throw yours into the chat, if we get time at the end, we'll go through some of them. All right. One, maybe two. Keep in mind, foundations give according to target populations. And get excited. Get excited about sending off these grant applications because this is your opportunity to tell your story. How have you changed lives? What type of outcomes have you achieved? Right? That's what a grant application is. It's an opportunity for you to finally tell your story about what you're doing, about your organization, how it's helping your company, whether it's for profit or nonprofit. And there's no better way of showcasing impact than using video. Don't sleep on the importance of videos. If you're currently open, have your client pick up their cell phone and give you a 30-second testimonial. Put that testimonial on the homepage of your website, right? Now, let's say you haven't even opened. Now you can showcase what the issue is. Maybe you want to move into that community, right? Where there's blight, where you want to go in and help rebuild it. You can showcase the problem with video. And when you meet with that foundation, you can talk. That's wonderful for 20 minutes. But once you show a video showcasing your work and what you do, a game changer. A game changer. All right? So don't sleep on videos. Now, all of you have a decision to make about grants. Are you going to be asking for operating grant money or program project grant money? One or the other per foundation. So one foundation you can ask for operating, another you can ask for program project. Now, you know, we love operating grants because when you get a general operating support grant, it means you can pay to shore up your infrastructure. You can pay for your administrative cost, including salaries or your lease or your IT or your marketing program or building a website. Only about 32% of foundations give general operating support grants. Most grant money has to go to a particular service or program or project of your organization. All right. Next, you must apply to multiple foundations. You must apply to multiple foundations, right? Why? Let me know in the chat. Why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? Let me hear from you in the chat. Why do you think this is important that you apply to multiple foundations? Into the chat, anybody into the chat. Let me know what you are thinking to increase your chances of winning a grant, says Antoinette. It's hard to win, says Thaddeus. Better chance of getting one, says Burmisha. To expand your opportunities for funding, says Tara. You're all right. But here's another that is critical for you to take in. And don't forget, grants are not guaranteed. Do not let people tell you that they can guarantee you grant money. If they do, I want you to do one of those military turns and run in the other direction because you're about to be scammed. Grants are not guaranteed, right? Literally just saw this on the internet like last week. Someone was posting $50,000 grant. Everybody approved. No, no. At this stage, I hear horror stories literally almost every day about somebody being scammed, right? Grants are not guaranteed. Keep that in mind. Now, when you are writing about whatever your service or project or program is, write about why you've been successful. If it's something new, why will you be successful? And why you? And why now? What is that need? Right? But you're writing as if you're addressing something, some type of an issue. There's a reason why you want to open. All right. Now, I cannot possibly overstate the importance of community partnerships. This is for every single one of you. You all need community partnerships. Doesn't matter your status. Doesn't matter if you are a solopreneur or you have an S corp. All of you must have community partners. This will strengthen your grant application. You cannot do this by yourself. You will get burnt out, right? You need help. And one great way is to connect with well-respected entities, well-respected organizations in your community. And I'm not talking necessarily about there being an exchange of money. There's many different ways partnerships can exist. Let's say you have an accounting firm. You could give a 1-hour tax talk every single month at your local library, which I think are criminally underutilized, right? A well-respected community partner libraries, right? You know they're going to promote you in your talk, right? And that leads me to reason number 2. All of you need to be in position where you are increasing your level of visibility so that people know you and know your work. Some of you have great programs, but nobody knows about them, not even in your own community. But when you connect with community organizations that are already ingrained, right, in your community, like the Urban League or HBCUs or 100 Black Men of America, it also highlights your work and what you're doing, right? So that's why this is important. So all of you, homework, I want you to name 5 organizations that you're going to partner with. 5. I want to give you a quick example of just how this works. Let's say you have a reentry program. You help prisoners, right, before they get out of jail to reenter into society and become productive members of the community. You have to get to them before they're released, right? So who do you think that kind of organization should be partnering with, right? You have a reentry program. Who should they be partnering with? The jail system, right? The sheriff's office, the chaplain of the jail. If it's a prison, the warden, right? Community service organizations so that you can show them where they need counseling that will help them become reacclimated. Maybe Dress for Success organizations, or maybe you help them with resume writing so that they can get job placement, or there are organizations like Toward Employment here in Northeast Ohio that specifically helps ex-offenders become reacclimated into society, right? So that's like what, 4 or 5 right there. This is what I want all of you to do, right? As homework, because it will make a difference that you can list these organizations on your grant application. All right. All right. Now, you're asking for grant money. You have to talk about what you think your goals are going to be, but they have to be SMART goals. You have to list this information in the grant application. SMART goals are what? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So let's say I have a literacy program. I want to help kids read. And I list as my goal, well, I want to reduce the poverty rate in Cleveland. But that's not a SMART goal. A SMART goal would say, I want to reduce the poverty rate by 5% in Cleveland for Hispanic children under the age of 5 within a 5-year time frame. Into the chat, everybody, what did I do there? How did I change the goal into a SMART goal? What did I do? In the chat, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Keep asking your questions. Keep asking questions in the chat or the Q&A because I'm going to get to them. And I see some comments too that I want to address. What did I do? I provided details. Danielle, let's see. Georgia said I targeted the audience. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Antoinette. Yes, Antoinette got it. Let's see. I made it measurable. I made it measurable. What did I use? 5%, Cleveland, Hispanic children under the age of 5-year time frame. I added data and stats. So when you want to create a SMART goal, you just add data and stats. You can use this formula no matter what program you're going to be in, right? To get to your SMART goals. Now, we're off to the money. This is how you are going to showcase your use of the grant money. You're going to create a budget, but you have to itemize these expenses. These are expenses for which you will be spending the grant money. Now, let's say you want to grant $50,000 grant to hire an executive director. You have to itemize. Is it a contracted position? If so, what is the hourly rate? How much are you paying per hour? How many hours a week is the person going to be working? How many weeks out of the year? Do you need resources, supplies? What do you need? How are they going to be used? What is the cost of each one and how many do you need? Right? That information, the numbers go into an Excel file, but the explanation or the description of how you're going to use the money goes into a budget narrative. All right, got it? All right. Now, I know some of you are saying, Linda, this sounds good. This sounds good. But I don't have time for this. I don't have time to write these grants. Now, remember what I said at the beginning, that some of these grant applications are 2 and 3 pages. Some are even less, right? So I have a question for all of you. Do you have time to get this free money? Do you have time to get the free money? Let me see in the chat if anybody has time to get free money. Let me see in the chat. I'm saying yes. I'm saying I will make time. I'm saying yes, ma'am. I'm saying for sure. I'm saying yes, yes, yes. I'm saying yes, absolutely. I'm saying a whole lot of yes. I'm saying sure do. I'm saying yes, count me in. I see making time. I'm saying of course. I'm saying all day. So it sounds like you have time to get free money. So if you have time to get free money, I need for you to spend just a little bit of time on the process to get the free money. So what are you going to do, all of you? You're going to create some relationships. Yes, you are. Now, this is the slide here. People, if you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. This is the slide, because this is as or more important than anything you will ever write in the grant application. You need to meet with the foundation first before you submit that grant application. You need to meet with them. They want to meet with you. They're considering giving you grant money, and you want to meet with them because you're considering getting their grant money. And let me tell you, you want to meet with them because oftentimes they will give you details about that grant that they don't even put on their website because you're building a relationship. I've probably set up 1,000 of these meetings in the last 16 years. One always comes to mind, $30,000 grant received by my client, 30-minute Zoom meeting. And yes, most of these are Zoom meetings, 30-minute Zoom meetings. Now, if you are in close proximity to your foundation or your organization, meet with them in person. But if not, Zoom meeting, right? This becomes so critical. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. They want to meet with you. All right. Now, how are you going to do it? How are you going to meet with them? This is what you're going to do. You're going to send them an email. In the email, you are introducing your organization to them. You are describing your organization. You are addressing what you provide, who you serve, how you serve them. You are aligning your mission statement to the mission statement of that foundation. You are absolutely not asking for money in this email. That is a surefire way to get a rejection letter. You're asking for a meeting. In the meeting, you ask for the money, right? You're going to send this to a real person at a real foundation with a real email address. Now, oftentimes they will list the name of the individual on their website, right? Or you will have done research, right? But how do you get the email address? That's not some generic info email. Now, I've been giving you cups of tea all evening. This is the teapot. Getemail.io. This software program will get you, and don't use a www, by the way. It's HTTP. Getemail.io. They will give you emails of almost anybody around the world. And this is how you're going to search for emails that you can't get anywhere else. And guess what? They give you 5 to 10 free emails, because I need you to send this letter to a real person at a real foundation using their real email address. All right? Because if you do that, they will contact you. They will set up that meeting. All right? Now it is time to find the money. You are going to conduct grant research. Now, Google is fine. Google is fine, but you want to use a portal that is specifically geared towards housing information about grants. The Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information on grants in the US. So let's say you have an organization, you have a nonprofit in Detroit, you help veterans to get mental health counseling because they have PTSD. You put that information into FDO and they will give you a list of organizations that provide grants for your type of program, because FDO gives you names of organizations, not grant applications or grant proposals, but the organizations that provide grants. All right. They're $50 a month to subscribe. But guess what? Free. Free at your local library. Free, free, free. All right. Next, grants.gov. You know that's the source for federal grants, right? Lilly Foundation. Do I have any churches with me? Faith-based organizations? Yes, you can get grant money too. Grant Gopher is good. Grantwatch.com. I love Grant Watch. They're $20 a week. And yes, you can cut it off after spending $20. They give you the actual grant, right? The application, a synopsis of the application, a link to the application, the deadline, the sponsor of the grant, the contact information for the sponsor, name, email address, telephone number. $20 a week. Grant Station is $200 for the whole year. Grant Watch is also $200 for the whole year if you want to just buy a year. But Grant Station, I think they do one of the best jobs of allowing you to really hone in on what you provide, what type of service you provide. And yes, they also give you the grant information, right? And the organization and the sponsor of it, right? Urban Awareness USA.org. They are Black owned. Please sign up to their free e-newsletter, and they have free training. You can let them know Linda sent you. They're phenomenal. All right. Now I want to show you quickly. This is Grant Station. They're $200 for the whole year. This is how you're going to conduct grant research, right? First of all, look to the right where it says areas of interest, right? For every block you see, there's probably 10 to 20 drop-down menus. So you really get to hone in on how you're helping and where in that particular subject area that you're helping in. Under social services and issues, specifically, if you help African American communities or minority communities, look under there. Target populations, who are you helping? Veterans, African Americans, senior citizens. That's where that information is. So you start plugging in your information, right? And you push a button, it will give you a list of grants. Now, let me say something to you about location, because I would probably say most of you are leaving money on the table. You're leaving grant money on the table. You must start local. You must start local. It's easier to get local grant money. Don't be seduced by these $2 and $3 million government grants. I've received them. They're difficult to get. Usually you need a partner. It is easier to get local grant money. If you just Google Local Community Foundation. Google, when we're done, Google Local Community Foundation. Is going to give you a list of whatever community foundation is near you. You need to meet with them. Now, don't disregard the national foundations. There are more of them. There are more national organizations, right? Don't disregard them. Look, just because an organization is headquartered in Texas doesn't mean they're not giving money to you and you're in Connecticut. And then for my global grant makers, right? Someone was here this morning from like Costa Rica and Canada. This is for you too. This is not just for U.S. organizations. You would live here in the U.S. and serve a population in Costa Rica and look for funds. You could live in Canada and serve Canadian populations and get grants, right? This is not just for U.S. organizations. All right. So this is Grant Stations, $200 for the whole year, right? Input your information, get you a list of grants. All right. Now, I said I had a list of grants for you, and I do. You might have heard of Aunt Jemima. You know, they changed their name to Pearl Milling Company. And now they have a phenomenal grant program where they give to organizations that serve Black women and Black girls. You have a nonprofit, go to support Black charities. Do you have a beauty brand, any kind of beauty product? Round 3 of the NAACP L'Oreal grant is coming up. Do you have a brick and mortar, a physical store? The Main Street grant opens up every year. LISC, they fly under the radar. They've given away $9 billion since 1979, but they only operate in 6 states. I know it's Ohio, Georgia, Tennessee, and look for the others. North Carolina is another one, right? Definitely all of you who are small businesses, but they help nonprofits too. Research them. Do you have a Black hair care salon? Are you going to be opening a Black hair care salon? Shea Moisture, that grant opened in October. I don't know when it closes. I won't go through all of these. Are you a filmmaker? Are you creating a film that showcases the African American experience? Ford Foundation has a grant for you, right? Let's go to Amarillo. Look, you might be saying, Linda, I'm too small for this. It's just me. I'm a solopreneur. I can't get any grant money. That's not true because there are organizations like Amarillo. That's all they do is give grant money to super small organizations. Or you might be thinking, look, I don't have a paid staff. I don't even pay myself, right? You don't need a paid staff necessarily. You know what you need? Impact. Because there are all volunteer organizations, all volunteer nonprofits that get grant money. All right. Mustard Seed, faith-based organizations, Black churches, HBCUs, grant funding available. Do you have a startup? Busy and Sky's the Limit. They both have startup grants. And I know I have a lot of women on here, so this slide is for you. HelloAlice.com, sign up. They are a portal of grants for women-owned businesses. They have a restaurant grant right now. So if you're in the restaurant industry, food and beverage industry, that's one grant. Then there are lists of grants for Black women. Cartier, they have a grant. Amber Grants for Women. They provide $30,000 every single month in grants. And 10,000 of that is earmarked for a particular industry. In December, if you're in the fashion, right, or interior design industry, apply for that grant. In January, it will change over to skilled trades, meaning if you are a trucker, if you are a farmer, maybe you're in home construction, maybe you build affordable homes, that's the category. You need an angel investor, 37angels.com. They give up to $150,000, right? Tori Birch, she's a famous designer. She has a program. All right. Now, right now into the chat, let me know the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money. Banks and money. What do you think about? What is like the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Into the chat, people. What do you think about? Interest, right? Debt, loans. Yes. High interest. Yes. Control. Yes. Yes. But did you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money in the United States? Some of the largest providers of grant money here in Ohio, Key Bank, they have a foundation. They're one of the largest foundations in the state. And look, it does not have to be your bank. Go to a bank with a great maybe presence in your community. Maybe they have a regional office. Maybe they have a headquarters office, right? But you will need to meet with these banks. I'm giving you 4 leads. Bank of America, largest bank in the country. They have hundreds of millions of dollars that they give. Wells Fargo, phenomenal in terms of their foundation, right? Because they not only have the Wells Fargo Foundation, but they serve as a grant administrator for hundreds of other smaller foundations. So you can apply to multiple foundations through Wells Fargo. TD and Wells Fargo and Bank of America, they give to nonprofits and for-profits. TD Banks, they typically give to nonprofits. And then Truist Bank, they give to nonprofits and for-profits. Now, I want to say just one word about, a couple of words about artificial intelligence. It's here. It's not that it's coming, it's here. And it can be an amazing tool for you to write your grants smarter and faster and quicker, right? But it is very important to know how you use it. It's not some magical button where you press it and all of a sudden you have the perfect grant application just out of the blue. No, you have to feed it. You have to feed it information that you write about your organization. That's why you've got to be able to learn how to write. But then you put it into AI and it gets perfected. Or maybe the grant application wants 100-word paragraph and you've written 500 words. You put it into AI and you have it give you a 100-word document, right? You use it to edit, you use it to retool, but you've got to be able to assemble the information about your organization to feed it, right? So it can be an amazing tool when you know how to use it, all right? And then it has to speak in your voice so it doesn't sound robotic, right? Because foundations don't want all of these applications where people just stuck stuff in AI and all of the applications sound the same. That's like almost an instant rejection letter. So know how to use it. Now, I said I had a bonus surprise for you, and I do. I want to get to that right now because this is important. There's money available for you, but I want you to know how to get it. I created a grant writing course. This is how I won $17 million, and you can do the same. This is why I created this course, and it also includes my coaching, which is very important, right? So in this course, it is a step-by-step path to funding. I teach you how to research specifically to find organizations that want to fund you, right? But let's say you find organizations and let's say you set up that meeting with the bank. This is where the coaching comes in. You come into the Facebook group. I have a private Facebook group and you ask questions, right? You want to know, what do you say? How do you say it, right? I can tell you what to say, how you say it. What are the keywords? What are the buzzwords, right? What do you bring with you? What do you show? The course will teach you how to write your budget. But then you come into the Facebook group and I can tell you, what should you be asking for? Should you be asking for program project money or operating dollars, right? So that's why the coaching goes hand in hand with the course. Because again, this is about more than what you write in that application. I'm trying to position you to win the grant, not just write a bunch of grants. All right. You get 12 modules, 35 lessons. There's an intro video for every lesson. And this is what is critical for you to know. I've been hired to build and create grant applications. So over the past 16 years, I know what kinds of questions they ask. I've used those questions to build this course. So this is where you answer those kinds of questions on an in-depth basis at your own pace, at your own speed, and with support so that you know how to answer the questions. And when you're done, you have this beautiful grant template because you've gone through all of the questions that have been taken from real grant applications, and you're ready to start applying. This is why it's faster and easier to do it this way. Because once you have the grant template, you can start applying for grants because you've done the heavy lifting in the course, but with support. Even as you go through the course, I have built into every single lesson discussion starters where you can ask a question about the lesson. It comes to me and I answer that question, right? And yes, you get real grant examples. Every grant example I wrote and every grant example won money. All right. And I do something else nobody else is doing in the country. I give you a list of over 600 organizations that provide grants. And yes, you get that private Facebook group. And let me tell you, the Facebook group, as I always say, like the young kids say, is lit. It just is, because the students are amazing. 2 weeks ago, they started 8 different chats so that they could collaborate. This is about community and collaboration and getting the right answers. And you want to know where there are grants in the Facebook group. I drop grants in there all the time, but guess what? The students, I think they drop more grants than I do, because everybody's concerned about everybody else getting this grant money. And because I want you to win, I give you something additional, 1 hour of group coaching. And that's almost every month. The last one was Monday, lasted almost 2.5 hours, because I'm here to support you. And I'm not one of those people that you buy something from and you don't see them anymore. I say this all the time. Like, you'll be sick of seeing this face in the Facebook group because I'm there all the time. All right. Now, this is what the course is worth, because you need to know this. I've had my course audited 3 times. The modules are worth $3,549. The videos are worth $599. The funding list, $499. The workbooks and the planners and the grant trackers. And this is lowballing, truly. So the course is worth $5,000. And I do not believe in just plucking numbers, right? That is a mild estimate, because the grant writing courses at the universities, $5,000. And guess what? You don't get access to the teacher, right? And you may get access to the materials for what, 2 or 3 months. My course never expires, never expires. The regular price is $997. I try to make this affordable. I have services that are probably, I don't know, 100 times this amount, right? This I do for you because I know it can help you. So I try to keep it as low as humanly possible. It has nothing to do with the value of the course. I'm trying to make it as affordable as possible, right? So it's $497. That's the discounted price. But you hopped on the webinar. So guess what? You get an additional 50% off if you buy this course in the next 3 days. It's $247, people, for everything I just explained. For the $5,000 course, right? The 12 modules, the 35 lessons, the Facebook group, the free group coaching, because I'm trying to get you in a place where you can move your organization forward, because some of you have been at this for a long time, wondering, where are the grants? I've heard about grants. What do I need to do? So I'm providing an opportunity that will allow me to help you. You have to use this code DEC18P. Now, if you need extra help, I can give you that. If you need 2 months to pay, it's the holidays. You have 2 months to pay. You can pay $137.50 now. And then 30 days from now, you pay the remaining $137.50. Just put a number 2 on the end of the code so that we know you want the 2-month payment plan. So this is everything you get. The whole course, I teach you how to write every part of a grant narrative, from the budget to the need statement to the impact statement to your history. Everything is self-paced. Go at your own pace. Letter of inquiry is very important, because some grant funders now want you to complete an LOI before you complete the grant application. There's an entire lesson on it. So this is everything, 247. The link is in the chat, but you have to use the code. I'll show you how to do that. And then if you want to make the 2-month payment, you can. All right, so this is for you. If you want to pay the 247, you're getting the discount off of 497, remember? So you're hitting the 497. It's going to take you to this page. Everybody look to the left. 497. That's what people pay. You have a coupon. Most people don't. You have a big coupon, by the way. So you input your coupon code, and guess what? It takes 50% off. You're paying $247. And I want you to see this little block here. That is a private VIP session with me, you and me. Oh, I do a deep dive into your organization. Because in that hour, before we even talk about grants, I'm going to look at your mission, your vision, your infrastructure, your target population, and your service program or project. And if you don't have one, we're going to get it together. And then we're going to talk about local and national grants. It's a 1-hour session. You get the session notes and you get the video. It's $495. You will leave with clarity. And for those of you, you've got 1,000 ideas. You don't even know which one you should be pursuing. I help you with that too. I give you the focus that you need, right? The only time it's $195 is if you buy it with the course. You have to add it on to the course. And then you can get it for $195 instead of $495. And by the way, this is my last webinar of the year. These prices will not be this low in 2025. Even I can't sustain providing these low prices. All right. Now, if you want to make the one payment, we can help you some more. We have a buy now, pay later, Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna. They all will give you 6 months, same as cash. Yes, you can divide the $247 over 6 months, not even pay any interest. You'll likely maybe get a grant before you even pay for the course, right? Now, if you want to just make the 2 payments with us, you can do that too. This is the 2 payment plan here, 2 times $275. You hit that. It will take you to this page here. Remember, you've got to put in your coupon, right? DEC18P and the number 2. It will take off 50%. $137.50 is what you pay now. And by the way, if you're thinking about it, I don't drip my course. Don't drip my course. We're talking about grants. There may be a grant coming up, and I'm just going to give you a piece of the course. No. Even if you only pay the $137.50 today, you get everything, the whole course, the Facebook group, right? The group coaching, and guess you can add the $195 right onto the $137.50. Now, I want everybody to look at Whitney. Whitney never thought she would get any grant money, but Whitney is a student, and she did exactly what I'm telling you to do. She started local. She got $40,000 from the Southern Power Fund. And by the way, utility companies, oftentimes if they have a foundation, they have pretty deep pockets. Then she went national Birth Equity Collaborative. Now she's saying, I can be a salaried employee of my own business. $200,000 Whitney got in 1 year, $200,000. And let me say something to you about what happened to Whitney. Remember I said you have to increase your level of visibility. Whitney was constantly pushing out her results, her impact, social media, newsletters, you name it. She got the attention of the Kellogg Foundation because they were like, she's providing resources where we give funding. They reached out to her. How would you like for a foundation to ask you to apply to their grant? That's exactly what they did. Do you think she got that $75,000 grant that the Kellogg Foundation asked her to apply for? Yes. This came, November 30th? 18 days ago, Alicia? $40,000. I just popped in to share some amazing news. I've been awarded a $40,000 grant. This was a couple of weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, Emily won. She won the LegalZoom grant, $10,000 and up to $500 in services, right? Michelle Richardson of Tranquility Point Therapeutic Massage. She has a massage company, people. She won a $20,000 grant. So please don't think for-profits and small businesses can't get grant money. This is a mix of nonprofits and grants. And I'm sorry, for-profits. Getting grant money. She got $20,000 for her massage company. She said, we are so very thankful and grateful for your course. It's been life-changing for our business. Christina, she has a nonprofit. She's an educator. May I share that I'm so grateful for Linda? I would not have had the confidence to follow through on applying for grants if it wasn't for a grant writing course. The depth of information provided is unmatched. She won her very first grant. So yes, Even if you've never won any grant money before, it's possible. Natalie became so good at writing grants, she became a professional grant writer, got a $50,000 grant for a local church, right? Cornisha got that Walmart grant. She said, thanks, Linda Peavy, because that one-on-one session, she bought the private session we had is getting my organization funded. April pitched her company. So if any of you are going to be entering pitch competitions, the course is great. She said, Linda, you taught me how to tell my story. She beat out 100 people, took home $9,000. Kimberly got 4 sponsorships in less than 2 months, right? So when we get to the Q&A, ask me the difference between a sponsorship and a grant, all right? You'll want to know that information. All right, we are there. We are there. We're done. We are done. It's Q&A time. It's Q&A time, but I want you to do something for you and not me. People, it's the end of the year. We're about to be in January. Like, time is up. Time is up. You got to get off the sidelines. I cannot express to you enough how you need to be ready January to try to get this free grant money, because I can't even tell you how much longer it's going to be available. We keep hearing about cuts to the government, right? Where do you think they're going to cut? So much of the grant money that filters down through the state and the city comes from the federal government. You have a child care agency, a lot of that money that you can get through the state comes from the Department of Education. You have a reentry organization, a lot of that money is from the Department of Justice, grant money. Billions that they give, right? Where do you think some of those cuts are coming from? So you have to be ready. You have to be ready, right? It's like my coach tells me all the time, we're the ones we've been waiting for. You're the ones you've been waiting for. Like, nobody's coming to save us, period. You've got to be able to do this. So no matter what happens in 2025, you have the resources to get free money for your organization, right? That is what you need to know. And it's here. It's being presented to you right now. All right. So everybody into the chat, I want you to write, I am ready to get grant money. Everybody, I believe in manifestation. Get this out of your system and into this chat. Like, write it out, like, get it out of you. I am ready. I am ready to get grant money. All of you, please write this into the chat for you, not for me. That's right, Lisa. Write this down. I'm ready to get grant money, because this is a lot of this is mental. Like, you've got to place yourself in a space where it's time to go. It's time. That's what I'm talking about. Betty, Denise, Bermisha, Sherry, Carla. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready to get grant money. Are you tired of using your own money? Are you tired of using your own money? Marina, Renee, Robin, Eddie, Lisa. Yes, manifestation, right? Tadius, Johnny, yes. Like, write this down. I was talking to a young lady. I tell this story. This was maybe 2 weeks ago. She had her nonprofit for 17 years, had never received a grant. Broke my heart, right? And there's grant money available. Daryl, I'm ready to get grant money. Raph, Georgia, right? Carrie, Constance, Roy, right? People who know me know I love sports. I watch football. I would watch football all day, every day if I could. Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, right? Sometimes Tuesday night. It's fourth quarter. It's fourth quarter. Time to get in the game. Time to get in the game. Like, in all seriousness, we can't afford not to do this, not to place your organization in a position. And whatever you do, just move forward. That's my ask of you. Move your organization forward, right? Don't let this be another webinar that you sit on and you don't do anything with it. I gave you a lot of information. Even if you don't buy this course, I gave you a lot of information that you can use, right? Because I don't want you to be looking around a month from now saying, you thought you heard about some grants. Do you know that some foundations in January, that's when they start giving out their money, and when it's gone, it is gone, because it's first come, first serve. That's not every foundation, but that's a lot of foundations. So like now is the time, Lisa, yes, get off the sidelines and suit up. That's what I'm talking about, right? That's what I'm talking about. In all seriousness, you're the ones you've been waiting for because nobody is coming to save us. Nobody is coming to save us, right? That's just real talk. Like you've got to get some skin in this game, right? To grow your organization and to move it forward. And when you think about what you're getting for $247 that you're going to write off, by the way, it's completely tax deductible. Yes, it's tax deductible. It's tax deductible. You write it off, people. It's an educational expense. And even if you are a nonprofit, you use it as an expense. And some of you will probably use the buy now, pay later. $247 divided by 6 for a $5,000 course. All right, people. All right. It's Q&A time. I'm going to look into the Q&A box. There are no questions there. So I'm going over to the webinar chat. I'm going to start slow because I saw quite a few actually. So I'm going to come down. All right. So yes, you write it off. It is considered a business or an educational expense. So if you have a for-profit, totally tax deductible. And yes, you get a certificate when you complete the course. You get a certificate. And you can get a receipt, whatever you need, for tax purposes. That's not a problem. And yes, you have 3 days to get the additional 50% off. People are, by the way, are quite happy to pay the $497 for the course because they know what they're getting. But it's $247 if you buy it within the next 3 days, but use your code. I'm going to show this to you live in a minute because some of you are asking questions about it. I am a for-profit business, but I am a pastor and our church burned to the ground. I'm very sorry to hear about that. Over a year ago, we're in need of a church. So let's just focus there. So you want to plant a church, right? So just so you know, churches get grants too, right? Churches get grants too. So there is the Lilly Foundation, there's Mustard Seed, but you would be surprised. Start with your local community because you particularly serve your local community. So you need to be meeting with your local community foundation. Let them know you need funding to rebuild your church. And I don't know if it was like a historical uh, church or not, but if it was, and this is for any of you, if you are maybe rebuilding a historical place or a place that you want to restore because it has historic relevancy, there is a particular grant. I'm going to stick this into the chat call. I want to put in the HTTP. Historic funding, I believe that's .com. All right. So if I were you, I would go to that site to see if you qualify for some of their funding. All right, let's see. I have a business. All right, all right, all right. Let's just see. Looking for questions. Yes, I do provide grant coaching on a regular basis. So if you want to seek out my grant coaching services, send me an email. Melissa, if you could please drop my email address into the chat. You all will need this because I want you to put my email address on your safe senders list, meaning your contact list, because you're going to get the replay via email. And I just don't want it going to your spam. All right. I just don't want it going to your spam folder. All right. So if you want grant coaching, send me an email because there's a separate price for that. All right, let's see. If not open, would those numbers be the number of people projected to serve? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you have not yet opened, you want to know like approximately how many people you project to serve. That's exactly what you're going to do. That is exactly what you're going to do. I serve a lot of homeless in and out of the shelter, but we are not allowed to take video. You don't have to take video. You shouldn't take video because what you don't want to do is exploit, right, the people that you help. You don't have to take video, right? You know what you can do? You can use stats. What is the homeless population? What is the number of homeless people in your area? How many homeless people have you placed or helped to place in your shelters, right? So your video could be the video of the homeless problem in your community, right? Because no, you don't want to exploit those people who are currently, right, in your service, but you can have a video about the effects of homelessness, right? Because that's a wide ranging effect. So give your stats. How many people have you helped, right? How many homeless people have you helped? And then focus on the stats. How many homeless people is in your community, right? Because that's going to be of significant interest to the funder, to the foundation, right? Because that shows need, that shows great need for your programming. So that's what you want to focus on. And you never know, right? You may have somebody that was once homeless and you were able to help get them shelter, and they may be willing to give you a testimonial. You never know. You don't have to show their face, right? But that's just an opportunity, but it's not a necessity. All right. Let's see. Paid somebody but never got the grant. Grants are not guaranteed. Just because you pay somebody to write a grant for you doesn't mean you're going to get the grant. Grants are not guaranteed, but there's a relationship that you should have with the grant writer. What I'm hearing is that people hire quote unquote grant writers and they never hear from them again. So they don't even know if they've submitted the grant or not. No, that's not the way. That's not the way you work with a grant writer. That's a partnership. And this is one of the reasons why grant writers buy my course, because they want to become better grant writers, right? Because if you are going to work with a grant writer, you still need the course because you need to know what the grant writer should be asking you. Because if the grant writer is going to write a grant for you, they need to answer all of the questions that I have in the course, because that's what's going to be on the grant application. So you have to work with them. It's a partner. It should be a partnership. All right. Let's see. Other questions. Let's see. Yes, you have until 3 days to get the additional 50% off. Lawn care services, that's a business, right? Look to see if there is a grant opportunity for businesses, right, in your area. Sometimes it doesn't have to be specific. Let me say this to all of you. There's 3 areas where you should be searching for grants. One is your mission statement. Align your mission statement to the mission of the foundation or the funder. Second is industry. This is where most of you don't take advantage of this nugget. All of you should be seeking grants from your industry. So if you are going to open a hair care salon, go to Shea Moisture. They make shampoo and conditioners. Go to Paul Mitchell. I think they have a grant program, right? Go to your industry. You want to open up a nail salon? Go to Opie. They create nail polish. You're in transportation? Go to FedEx. They have a grant program, right? You're in lawn care services? Go to the makers of a lot of the, I guess, the pesticides, right, that you put on the lawn, right? Find out whether or not they give grants, right? And next, it's because of your gender or ethnicity. Because you are a Black-owned organization, there are some grants that you're going to qualify for because they are earmarked for minority organizations. And yes, we've seen in the news that a lot of these organizations are being sued because they want to try to give you, as a Black organization, grant money. Fearless Fund was sued. Hello Alice was sued. Progressive was sued, but you know what's beautiful? They are absolutely forging forward, but they know how to tweak the language. So instead of saying this is solely for a Black organization, they'll say it's open, but our preference is for minority organizations. That's how they're getting around it, right? So seek out grants geared towards you as a Black organization. And this is one way you can do this. This is for all of you. If you purchase grantwatch.com, that's $20 a week. They have a category called BIPOC. I'm going to drop this in here. BIPOC. Do you know what that stands for? Black, Indigenous, People of Color. Your category. If you check the box of BIPOC and Grant Watch, it's going to give you hundreds of grant opportunities from around the country geared towards Black-led organizations or Black-owned organizations or organizations that specifically help, right, communities of color, right? So you can do that. You can go to Grant Watch and do that and spend your $20, right? And so then it may matter less that you're in lawn care, but you're a Black-owned organization. So you, right, you apply. All right. So mission, industry, ethnicity, or gender. All right. Okay. We are getting to the end here. They don't give to small businesses. You're talking about banks. They absolutely do. I have received grant money from banks for small businesses. This is why it's important to get the correct information, people, from experts, people who have experienced, right? Whatever it is that you're trying to learn. And it's not necessarily coming from social media. Just because somebody says something on social media or refer you to somebody on social media, do your due diligence, do your research. It will save you some heartache. Google the person, go to their website, get references, go to the Better Business Bureau, right? Truist Bank, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America give grants to small businesses. I'm not talking about loans. I'm talking about grants, right? Citizens Bank, every year, they have a grant geared towards women-owned business, Black women-owned businesses, right? Barclays Bank have a special grant for small businesses, right? Meet with your banks. Have that conversation. All right. This is, look, do it. All right. Johnny says, this is a great opportunity. I paid for it prior to getting off the webinar and verified all of the offered features. It is a blessing. People, do your research. I ask you to do that. Don't accept it because you hear it coming out of somebody's mouth. Do your research. If anybody wants to Google Linda Peavy or LaPav Consulting, you are welcome to do so. I have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. I've been in business 16 years. I've trained over 20,000 organizations, right? I sat on the national faith engagement team for 2 presidential campaigns. So you know I've been very well vetted, right? Very well vetted. I'm doing this for you. I'm basically giving away a $5,000 grant writing course because I know that it can help you, right? You've got to be able to invest just a little bit into you, right? You got to pour into you just a little bit, right? And see where that gets you. So before we go anywhere else or do anything else, we have to stop because right now we've got to give Constance and Veronica some love because they bought the course. So I want to see some clapping of hands. I want to see some hearts because you are on your way. I will see you in the Facebook group. For all of you who are buying the course, when you come into the Facebook group, I'm going to ask you a question. answer it because I'm going to help you immediately. I don't even want you waiting until the next group coaching call, which will not be until the end of January. I want to help you immediately, right? And those of you who are buying, you're going to get 3 emails. One will be the link to the Facebook group, and you want to be in the Facebook group. I just today published the last live video session, the last live grant coaching session for Monday. I put that in there, and all of the past coaching sessions are there, and you can be helped by the past coaching sessions, right? It's all in there. But I will see you in the Facebook group. Like I'm happy for you, right? You've made a great decision. You are on your way. All right, you're on your way. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you. All right, Lisa, send me an email. Lisa, send me an email. Let's see. Get my funds in order. Thank you, Bernicia. All right, I believe we are done. Let me just make sure. I want to make sure I've answered all of the questions. Yes, Lisa, name it and claim it. Ralph, tired of using mine? I know you're tired of using your own money. I hear from you. I hear from people collectively, right, that you're tired of using your own money. So I get it. I get it. I get it. The code is working. So I'm going to do this live. I'm going to do this really quickly, really quickly. I'm going to do this live. Make sure it's all lowercase. All right. Make sure it's all lowercase. I'm going to sign out and I'm going to do this live because people have questions. All right. So I'm doing this live. I'm going to share my screen. So this is how you buy the course. All right. You click the link, you will get to this page. Let's say you want to pay the $247, one and done. Remember, you're getting the discount off of $497. So you hit $497 purchase now, right? This is a page that you will see. You have a coupon. Put in your coupon DEC, all lowercase, 18P. You hit apply. As you see, it will take off 50%. You put in your email because you're getting ready to sign up. Now, you hit save now. This is what you look for. You can use your credit card. You can use PayPal. But if you want the 6 months same as cash with the buy now, pay later, hit pay another way, then hit new payment. Now you can hit bank payment, Affirm, Cash App. You hit the little down arrow. You can pay Google Pay, Afterpay, Klarna, right? Now, Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm, 6 months same as cash. All right. Let's say you want to make the 2 payments with us. This is the 2 payment plan, 2 times 275. Hit purchase now. You will come up to this page here. As you can see, 275 times 2, but that is not what you're paying because you have a coupon. Enter your coupon code, DEC18P, put a 2 on the end of it, hit apply. Now it's taking off 50%. You're only paying $137.50. And you can add on the $195 at any time, right? You can add it on for the 2-month payment or that 1-month payment. You just click this little box there. It will add it right to the total. Now, just know with the 2 payment plan, you're already on a payment plan, so you can't get the buy now, pay later. That's only with the one payment, and it will divide it into 6. Here, you're just making 2. All right? All right. We're going to stop sharing. So hopefully that explained it. Now, it's always best to stay until the end. And it's the holiday season. So remember I said I'm going to have 2 extra gifts for you. For those of you who buy the course, right? For those of you who buy the course, in the next 3 days, I'm going to give you 2 products for free. Remember we talked about artificial intelligence. It's here. I created a mini guide, a training with a video, $99, right? It will give you an introduction to artificial intelligence and how it can make your world faster and easier as it pertains to you writing these grants. You will get it for free. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. You'll get it for free. The artificial intelligence training. And remember we talked about BIPLC? I have a cultivated list of grants that is geared specifically for Black, Indigenous people of color. 300. This is in addition to the 600 that you get in the course. Like I'm giving you the farm. All right. You will get that list for free. That list of 300 grants geared towards BIPLC. Now, like my assistant knows I never do this, right? But this is my last webinar of the year. And just so you know, this course will not be this amount in 2025. All transparency, all transparency. So you're getting the course and you're getting the two bonuses, the artificial intelligence training. Oh my gosh, you will get it free if you buy the course in the next 3 days. And in the next 3 days, you will get emails with the link, with the replay, with the code so that you have the information, you have the replay. You're going to get that tonight at 11 o'clock. You'll get the first email, right? With the replay, but you also get it over the next 3 days so that you are reminded in this, especially in the busyness of this season, that there's a deal out there that can make a difference in your organization. Those organizations that got $20,000, $200,000, that transformed those organizations. Transform those organizations. 40,000, free, free money, free money. The link is in the chat. The code is in the chat. So if you look in the chat, you will see the two codes, DEC18P and DEC18P, the number 2. So we just dropped them again into the chat. All right. All right. Now I'm going to go back to the Q&A because I think I see some new questions. It seems that there are some new questions in the chat. I'm sorry, the Q&A. I have a nonprofit that provides food assistance to underserved communities. We are expanding our services to support families with housing and mental health issues. How can I tackle that for funding? So those are 3. This is the beauty of searching for grants. Most of you have multiple categories for which you should be applying for grant money. Let's take this example, right? Basic necessities, food, shelter, and clothing. Most foundations in your community are wanting you to apply for their grant funding. If you are in one of those 3 areas, basic necessities, food, shelter, and clothing, you already provide food assistance, right? So that's food, right? So when you search for your target populations, that's the underserved community in your area, but your category is food and nutrition. However, you now want to include housing, right? So that's under housing or affordable housing. That's another category, right? And then mental health issues. That's mental health counseling. So those are 3 totally separate areas. So when you search for your grant, you're going to be searching for grants under those 3 different categories. So you're not searching for a grant that says what grant is available that can give me money because I'm providing food and housing and mental health issues to underserved communities. That's not the way the search works. Take it one at a time. Take them separate because you're going to search for organizations that provide grants because you provide food. You're going to get quite a few. Put in affordable housing or housing. You're going to get quite a few because these may be totally different foundations. You're going to apply to all of them. You're going to apply to everything. If they come up on that list and they meet your criteria and you are eligible, and this is something else you all need to know, you should all be applying for multiple grants at any given time, right? This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And your mental health issues, be careful about that area. What are you providing? Do you have mental health counselors? Are you training counselors? Or are you referring them to other organizations that can help them? And this is something I want all of you to know. This is why I don't want you to think that you can help everybody, because you can't. And I want you to be careful, because those are three huge areas. You may not be able to help them with mental health issues. You may not be able to help them with housing. You may just need to focus on giving them food. But what you can do is, when they come to you for food, you have a resource list. You've connected with community organizations. So when they come to you for food, you have a list of resources, or you can pick up the phone and say, I'm going to refer this person to you because they need affordable housing. Or you're going to contact another social service agency and say, I have somebody to refer to you because they have mental health issues. Because you can't take on all this burden alone unless you have a pretty large organization. But this is why community partnerships are critical to what you're all doing, or you're going to burn yourself out. I'm talking to all of you, right? That's why you have to have community partners to help you in what you're trying to do, because you want to do what you do well, right? You want to do what you do well. And the more you add on to what you're doing, the more you're going to, right, sanitize the initial organization, the initial service. Be careful where you put your energy, right? Because the more energy you put towards adding on these new services, the less energy you're going to have to put towards the food assistance. So this is for all of you. Have a list of resources. And this is why you should be letting the county know that you have this program. You should be letting your city officials know so that they can refer, right, people to you. In Ohio, it's called the, let's see, the uh, Children and Family Services. There's a similar one in every single county and city in the country, because they're funded by your state typically, or your county. You need to be meeting with them. Let them know you exist so that you can be a source of referral to them. The difference between a grant and a sponsorship. So if you get a grant, the funding organization cannot demand anything from you of value. They can't ask you to create a report of how you spent their money. But let's say they're a bank. They can't demand that you become a member of their bank because they gave you a grant. That's not the way grants work. That's illegal. You can't do that. Right? They can't demand something of value from you because they gave you the grant. Now, a sponsorship is totally different, because if an organization gives you a sponsorship, they're going to expect something. Maybe they want their widget into your swag bag, or maybe they want to put an ad in your program booklet, or maybe they want to speak to your audience. So all of you that have events, or maybe you're raising money, right? Maybe you're raising money to put school supplies in backpacks, right? Go ask for sponsorships. You would be surprised at how willing your local businesses are to help you, but you've got to ask. And I have templates in this course. So remember, I said you need to reach out to the foundation for that meeting. I have a template. All you do is plug in your information. Remember, I said the importance of creating a partnership. I have a template, email template. You plug in your information. I have a grant application template. So as you are answering the questions in the grant, you answer them in the Word document. There's a template for it, right? So you use these documents to then reach out and create partnerships and set up meetings for sponsorships and for grants, right? So that's the main difference. All right, it seems that there is a lack when it comes to men of color. A lack of what exactly? A lack of what? A lack of funding, a lack of programming, right? So specifically, what is it that you're looking for, right? Because there's funding available, but you've got to know where to look for it, right? So do you mean a lack of funding for maybe programs that are geared towards men of color? I would say that's true. Not as much as there are for programs for women. That's true. That doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means you have to know where to look for them, right? And so the beauty of it, though, is that it could be something new, right? So maybe in your community, you want to create a program that's geared towards men of color. That may be something brand new in your community, right? So that may be something organizations want to fund because maybe there isn't anything else like it. But let's say you create that program. Remember I said it's easier to get local money, right? Now maybe if there are major barbershops right in your city, you could ask for funding. You would be surprised how organizations want to give. I want to give you an example of this. Let's say you have a company that teaches attorneys, right, how to better market their law firms, right? We were talking about this earlier, right? Because people had a hard time understanding how, as a small business, you ask other businesses for money. This is a perfect example that I thought of that I'm going to share with you. Let's say you have a small business, and what you do is you teach attorneys how to market their law firms. Car dealerships, let's say you're going to have a workshop or a convention or a conference. You need to go to local businesses asking for money or sponsorship. Now, these are attorneys, right? So typically they're in a higher income level. Go to like a luxury car dealership, like a Mercedes-Benz dealership or a Cadillac dealership or a Lexus dealership. Ask that dealership to help sponsor this conference for attorneys. They're going to want to get in front of those attorneys, right? And maybe they're going to want to park their car right in front of the convention center or the conference place, right? So that people have to pass it to go to your conference. And that's what they do. And they give you $50,000 for the ability to park their car in front of your event. What you have to think about, what is the connection when you ask a local business, right? Let's say you have a for-profit and you teach kids, you teach high school kids after school. Maybe they're on an after-school baseball team. You're a for-profit, right? Or you're a nonprofit. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it's about more than just you getting money. Dick's Sporting Goods. You go to Dick's Sporting Goods, you ask for a $1,500 gift card so that you can buy equipment, right, for your students. So it's about more than just money, right? A lot of these organizations give, especially the nationally known ones like Dick's Sporting Goods, the restaurants like Red Lobsters and Macy's and Nordstrom's, they give large dollar gift cards. You have an organization that's geared around nutrition, right? Maybe you teach people how to eat properly. Go to Whole Foods, go to your grocery store, have them sponsor your event, right? Do you understand how you make this connection? This is for all of you, right? Do you get how you make these connections now? All right. All right. All right. So let's see. A local church provides 275 cars with food for families each month. Yes, we can. The world's greatest fraternity gave 200 sleeping bags to the homeless, right? Ask for donations, right? So it says the world's greatest fraternity gave 200 sleeping bags to the homeless, right? Maybe you can ask, what is it? Cabela's? I think there's a sporting goods store, or Dick's, to donate 200 sleeping bags to you because you're going to give them to the homeless, right? Everybody wants to help the homeless. So this is why coaching is important, because oftentimes you're so busy focusing on your organization, you can't necessarily think of all of these ideas. That's why it's important to have a coach, right? And that's what I provide to you as a part of the program. But before we do anything else, right now, we have to give Eddie and Ralph some love. Eddie and Ralph, welcome. I will see you in the Facebook group. I need to see some clapping of hands and some hearts. I need to see some love for Eddie. I need to see some love for Ralph, because they were like, hold up, Veronica, hold up, Constance. You are not leaving us behind, right? You're on your way. I'm glad. I'm glad for you. I'm glad for you. All right. All right. Let me see if there are any other questions, and then we're going to wrap it up, right? Because we do have to wrap it up. We're almost at the 2 hour time frame. Let's see. All right, we're done with the Q&A in there, and I believe we are done. I believe we are done. You have 3 days to get the additional 50% off. And remember, you get the 2 bonus freebies, the artificial intelligence training, right? And then the list of 300 grants. Free. I'm just giving you the farm. All right. All right. I want to thank you all for hopping on, because I know you could have been elsewhere at 7 o'clock tonight. This is a holiday season, right? I know you could have been elsewhere, but you hopped on, and I appreciate the opportunity to share this with you, right? Like, this is my community. All right. So I appreciate the opportunity, right, to share this information with you, because I know it's going to make a difference, right? So make sure you put my email list on your safe senders list or your contact list, so that you get the emails with the replay, right? Any other information. All right. All right. All right. And I hope to see you all in the Facebook group over the course of the next 3 days. I just need to let you know that you will not see these prices in 2025. Like, even I can't sustain this, right? Because it is super, super low. All right. All right. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and founder of the company LaPav Consulting, LLC. So thank you all so much. This is a holiday season. I want you to have a blessed and a safe time. This is the season of giving, right? But don't leave out you, okay? Don't leave out you, right? Do something for you. Do something for you. Give yourself a gift, and just know that there are people who are waiting on your skills, right? There are people waiting, right, on you to be able to help them, based on your passion and your skill set. All right. So thank you so much. God bless you all. And I'm rooting for you. I am rooting for you. All right. All right. Thank you so much. And I will see the people who bought over in the Facebook group. All right. All right. Thanks so much. God bless you. Bye-bye.